this video is about. The mother cried at the gala, but her son's song saved her from heartbreak. If this story touches your heart, please like the video and share your thoughts in comments. Part 1. The mother cried at the gala, but her son's song saved her from heartbreak. The grand ballroom of the Devereux estate sparkled under the soft glow of crystal chandeliers, each facet reflecting the dreams and ambitions of those gathered beneath them. The air was heavy with the scents of roses and expensive cologne, mingling together in a heady perfume that filled the room. It was a night of celebration, the annual gala that the Ellis Foundation held to raise funds for the arts, a cause that touched the hearts of many in the affluent community of Hawthorne Heights. Yet, amidst the laughter and clinking glasses, Claudia Hale felt an unfamiliar emptiness gnawing at her heart. Claudia stood against the wall, her silk gown flowing like water around her, a deep emerald green that complemented her auburn hair and porcelain skin. She wore a smile that felt more like a mask than an expression of joy. It had been years since she had attended the gala without her husband, Mark. 4 years, 3 months, and 2 days to be precise. Still, the calendar had not forgotten the date, and neither had her heart. Each year, the gala felt like a reminder of what she had lost, amplifying her loneliness amidst the thronging crowd. "Claudia, you look stunning." A voice cut through the haze of her thoughts. It was Evelyn, her closest friend, rushing over with an energy that seemed to ignite the space around her. "Thank you, Evie," Claudia replied, forcing her smile to widen. "You look beautiful as always." Evelyn was dressed in a bright red gown that hugged her figure, her blonde curls bouncing as she approached. "I can't believe I let you talk me into this," Evelyn said with a playful roll of her eyes, glancing around at the crowd. "I thought you wanted to avoid the spotlight tonight." Claudia sighed, her gaze drifting to the dance floor where couples twirled with abandon. "I thought so too, but I didn't want to be rude and decline your invitation. Besides, I've been cooped up for too long." Evelyn stepped closer, her expression softening. "You don't have to pretend with me, you know. It's okay to feel overwhelmed. This is hard." For the first time that evening, Claudia felt the glimmer of tears welling in her eyes. She blinked them away, shaking her head. "It's just the gala. It always stirs up memories. I'll be fine." But Evelyn knew better. She reached out, squeezing Claudia's hand gently. "How about we find some champagne? It'll lighten the mood." Claudia nodded, grateful for the distraction. As they maneuvered through the sea of glimmering gowns and tuxedos, her heart ached for the man who had once stood beside her, the one who had twirled her around the dance floor, whispering sweet nothings in her ear. The memories were both comforting and suffocating. "Do you hear that?" Evelyn exclaimed suddenly, pointing toward the stage where the evening's entertainment was about to begin. A bustle of musicians was setting up, and a familiar face emerged from the shadows. It was Noah, her 15-year-old son, who stood anxiously at the microphone, clutching his guitar. "Is that Noah?" Claudia's voice caught in her throat, a mixture of pride and nerves swelling within her. "Of course, I told you about his performance tonight." Evelyn beamed, trying to inject some excitement into Claudia's demeanor. "He's going to be amazing." Claudia's heart raced as she watched Noah shuffle on stage, his long hair falling over his forehead, his eyes darting to the crowd, searching, perhaps, for her. She had encouraged him to pursue his passion for music, but the thought of him performing in front of such a large audience made her stomach twist with anxiety. "Ladies and gentlemen," the MC announced, and the room quieted down. "Tonight we have a special performance by a rising talent from our very own community. Please welcome Noah Hale." Noah took a deep breath, his fingers trembling slightly as he strummed the first chords of his song. The melody floated through the air, a haunting tune that seemed to reach into the deepest corners of Claudia's heart. She could see him closing his eyes, getting lost in the music. And for a moment, she was transported back to evenings spent together in their living room, where he would play for her until the sun dipped below the horizon. As he sang, his voice trembled with emotion, weaving stories of longing and love, of dreams lost and hopes renewed. Claudia felt herself drawn into his world, her heart swelling with pride and sorrow as she remembered the days when Noah would curl up next to her on the couch, strumming simple chords while she hummed along. But tonight, the weight of her loneliness pressed down on her like a heavy shroud. Remembering the last time she had danced with Mark, the way he had held her close and spun her gently made her feel as if she were floating. Tears pricked at her eyes, blurring her vision. What would he think of their son? Would he be proud? Claudia felt the loss of him settle over her like a mist, heavy and suffocating. Noah took a breath and continued, his voice rising to match the soaring melody. "And though the night may fall, I'll find my way home." His lyrics wrapped around Claudia, weaving through her grief and igniting sparks of hope that flickered in the dark corners of her heart. In that moment, surrounded by laughter and soft chatter, all the pretenses fell away. The gala faded into a backdrop of noise, and all she could hear was Noah's voice calling to her, reaching out as if to pull her from the depths of her despair. The chorus hit, and she found herself swaying, not just with the rhythm but with the memories. Noah's music told a story that was not just about loss but also about resilience, about finding light after the darkest nights. She closed her eyes, letting her heart guide her to the warmth of the memories of her son as a child, those innocent days filled with laughter and joy, the moments they had created together. As Noah's performance reached its crescendo, Claudia felt a wave of emotion crash over her. The tears she had fought to suppress began to spill down her cheeks, and she didn't care who saw. She wanted to embrace the pain because it was proof of love, of connection, and of the life they had built together, even in the absence of Mark. And then, as Noah strummed the final chords, a hush fell over the room. Claudia opened her eyes, glancing around to see the audience enchanted by his performance. They erupted into applause, a thunderous sound that echoed against the walls of the grand ballroom. Noah's eyes lit up as he finished, and he scanned the crowd until they landed on her. The moment their gazes met, a rush of understanding passed between them. In that instant, Claudia knew he was not just singing for the audience but for her, for their shared grief and their unbreakable bond. As the applause continued, Noah smiled widely, a boy becoming a man in front of her eyes. Claudia felt a swell of pride, but more than that, she felt hope. Hope that they would navigate this path together, that they would carry the memories of Mark with them, not as a burden but as a guiding light. "See," Evelyn said, nudging Claudia gently. "He's amazing, you must be so proud." Claudia nodded, wiping her tears and letting out a shaky breath. I really am." But the gala was far from over, and as the music faded into the background, she realized that tonight, perhaps for the first time since Mark had passed, she felt lighter. She didn't know what the future held for her and Noah, but as long as they had each other and the music that connected them to their past, she knew they would find their way. Part 2, Healing Notes. After the applause had faded, Claudia felt lightness unfurling within her, a stark contrast to the heaviness that had settled in her chest at the beginning of the evening. Noah stepped off the stage, his cheeks flushed with exhilaration, and Claudia rushed forward, weaving through the crowd to meet him. "There he is," she cried, wrapping her arms around him, feeling the warmth of his body against hers. He held her tightly, and for a moment the world around them blurred, the gala fading into insignificance. "You were incredible," she said, pulling back to look into his eyes, which sparkled with youthful delight. "Really?" he asked, his voice barely above a whisper, a hint of disbelief lacing his tone. "Absolutely, you had everyone captivated," she reassured him, her heart swelling with pride. "I couldn't believe how well you held the audience." "Thanks, Mom." A shy smile broke across his face, but Claudia could see the lingering nerves in his expression. "I wasn't sure if they'd like my song." "Of course they would. You poured your heart into it." Claudia glanced around, noticing the lingering smiles and soft conversations that buzzed around them like a gentle hum. "You're a natural. I knew you had it in you." Noah let out a breath he didn't realize he was holding, his shoulders relaxing. "It felt good to sing again. I missed it." "Then let's make sure you do it more often," she suggested, a spark of enthusiasm igniting within her. "We can practice together, maybe even do open mic nights at the local cafe." "Yeah, that'd be awesome." His face lit up again, and Claudia couldn't help but feel the warmth of hope radiating between them. "I can work on new songs and—" "Mom, Noah." Evelyn's bright voice cut through their moment as she appeared at their side, her eyes sparkling with enthusiasm. "That was fantastic. Are you ready to celebrate?" "Celebrate?" Noah asked, bewildered. "Of course. We have to toast your debut. Come on." She grabbed both of their hands and pulled them toward the bar area. Claudia felt a surge of appreciation for Evelyn's exuberance, the way she could lift spirits even in the most somber of times. As they approached the bar, Claudia noticed how the atmosphere was beginning to shift. The music transitioned from the soft melodies that Noah had played to an upbeat tempo that coaxed couples back onto the dance floor. The laughter of friends and acquaintances wove through the air like a tapestry. And for the first time, Claudia felt herself being pulled into the vibrant energy of the gala rather than existing on its periphery. "I'll get us some drinks," Evelyn chirped, slipping into the crowd. Claudia watched her go, feeling a comforting warmth settle in her chest. "Hey, Noah," Claudia said, leaning against the bar to face him, her expression softening. "What did you think of the crowd out there?" He shifted his weight from one foot to another, a hint of uncertainty crossing his features. "It was scary, but it felt good, like I was sharing something important with them." "Exactly," she nodded, her heart swelling with pride. "You have a gift, and that gift is meant to be shared. Just remember, it's not about perfection, it's about connection." Noah chewed on his lip, considering her words. "I think I understand that now. It's just hard to remember when you're up there." "Trust me, it gets easier," she reassured him, and for a moment she wondered if she was speaking to him or to herself, perhaps both. "You'll find your rhythm." "Thanks, Mom," he said, his tone earnest. "I'm really glad you were here tonight." "Of course," she replied, her heart swelling once more as she caught his gaze. "I wouldn't miss it for the world." A moment of comfortable silence enveloped them until Evelyn returned, two flutes of champagne in hand. "Here you go, my talented boys," she said, handing them their drinks before raising her glass. "To Noah, the star of the evening." "To Noah," Claudia echoed, clinking her glass against his. "To Noah," he laughed, a bright smile breaking across his face once more. They took a sip, and Claudia felt the bubbles tickle her nose, a delightful sensation that echoed the joy of the moment. She glanced around the ballroom, realizing that although the night had begun in solitude, it was transforming into something beautiful, a celebration of life, of family, and of the memories that still resonated in the air. "After this, can we take a picture?" Noah asked, suddenly looking serious. "I want to remember this night." "Of course, we'll get a great one," Evelyn chimed in, her excitement infectious. "Let's find a nice backdrop." As they began to navigate the crowd, Claudia felt a twinge of nostalgia. Mark would have loved this moment, his sun shining in the spotlight, the laughter of friends, and the warmth of the community surrounding them. It felt bittersweet, but she clung to the hope that it also symbolized something new, a new chapter. "Mom, can we take a picture over there?" Noah pointed to a stunning wall adorned with cascading fairy lights. It felt like a secret garden of dreams, a perfect spot for their memories. Absolutely, she agreed, moving toward the lights. This will be perfect. As they posed beneath the twinkling lights, Claudia felt a rush of gratitude. She looked at Noah, his youthful exuberance infectious, and it reminded her of how far they had come together since Mark's passing. There had been days when it felt impossible to breathe, let alone celebrate life. Yet here they were, standing together in joy. "Say cheese," Evelyn called, capturing the moment as Claudia and Noah beamed at the camera. "Let's do another," Noah suggested, a gleam of mischievousness in his eyes. "This time we need to be silly." "All right, silly it is." Claudia laughed, feeling her heart lighten. They struck exaggerated poses, arms flailing and faces scrunching into goofy grins, and it felt liberating to let go of the weight she had carried for so long. "Perfect," Evelyn said, glancing at the photos. "I'll send these to you guys. We should frame one for the house." "I'd love that," Noah said, excitement shining in his eyes. "It'll remind us of tonight." "Exactly," Claudia replied, her heart swelling with pride once more. As the night wore on, they danced, they laughed, and they shared stories. A beautiful woven tapestry of memories that began to replace the ache of loss. At one point, Evelyn darted off to greet other friends, leaving Claudia and Noah to share a quieter moment amidst the celebratory chaos. "Mom," Noah started, his voice suddenly serious, and she turned to him, sensing the shift in the air. "Yeah," she asked, her heart quickening. "Do you think Dad would have liked tonight?" The question hung in the air, delicate and raw. Claudia felt the knot in her throat tighten, but she swallowed it down, wanting to give him an answer that honored both his curiosity and his grief. "I think he would have loved it," she replied thoughtfully, searching for the right words. "He would have been so proud of you, Noah. You have his spirit in you, the way you light up when you play, the way you connect with people." "Really?" he asked, his eyes wide with hope, and she nodded earnestly. "Really, you're his legacy, you know. You carry him with you every time you sing." Noah absorbed her words, a contemplative look crossing his features. "I wish he could have seen me tonight." "Me too," Claudia admitted, her voice barely above a whisper. "But you know, I think he can see you. He's with us in spirit, in the music you play and the love you share." "Yeah," he nodded slowly, a soft smile breaking through the sadness. "I feel that. It's like he's the one cheering me on." Claudia wrapped her arms around him, pulling him into a hug that spoke volumes of the connection they shared. In that embrace, the echoes of the past intermingled with the promise of the future. She realized that while grief would always be a part of their journey, it would not define them. Instead, it would be a thread woven into the fabric of their lives, one that could connect them to the love they had lost, while also propelling them forward into new beginnings. As they pulled back, the sound of music enveloped them once more, and Claudia felt the familiar tug to join the dance floor. "Come on, let's dance," she urged, taking his hand. "Can we do the spins?" he asked, his eyes lighting up with mischief. "Only if you promise not to drop me," she teased, leading him toward the dance floor. As they twirled and spun beneath the shimmering lights, laughter echoed between them, and Claudia felt an overwhelming sense of gratitude wash over her. Yes, the gala had begun with heartache, but it was also blossoming into a night of healing, one that would forever be etched in their memories as a celebration of love, resilience. Part 3, a night of healing. The ballroom pulsed with life as Claudia and Noah danced, the rhythm of the music intertwining with the beats of their hearts. She had never imagined that a night so steeped in sorrow could transform into something so beautiful, but with every twirl and every laugh, the remnants of her grief were swept away, if only for the moment. "Okay, now let's try that spin again," Noah exclaimed, his youthful excitement infectious as he grasped her hands, lifting them above their heads. Just don't spin me too fast. I don't want to end up knocking someone over, she warned, playfully narrowing her eyes at him. But her laughter betrayed her mock seriousness. Promise, I'll be gentle, he said, his grin wide, showcasing the gap where his front teeth had once been. He spun her slowly, and the world blurred around her. The radiant colors of dresses, the sharp lines of tuxedos, the flickering lights of chandeliers all began to intertwine and swirl in a kaleidoscope of joy. As they danced, Claudia felt a sense of liberation, a release of the pent-up sadness that had clung to her for far too long. She couldn't remember the last time she had felt this free, this alive. Noah's presence grounded her, reminding her that among loss there was still love, and in the shadows there was still light. Just then, Evelyn rejoined them, her hair bouncing as she approached, arms outstretched. "Can I cut in?" she said dramatically, emphasizing her request with a playful bow. "Sorry, Evie, you'll have to wait your turn." Noah shot back, dipping Claudia low as he spun her around. Claudia laughed, her heart soaring with the carefree spirit of their playful banter. All right, I can take a hint," Evelyn laughed, raising her hands in mock surrender. "But I'm definitely getting a dance from you later, Noah Hale." "Deal," he shouted back, his eyes still sparkling with the thrill of performing and dancing. Claudia marveled at the transformation in her son. He was coming into his own, embodying the spirit of a young man ready to take on the world. As the song shifted to a slower tempo, Noah pulled Claudia closer, resting his chin atop her head. "This one's nice," he murmured, swaying gently, his grip firm yet comforting. Claudia closed her eyes, letting the music wash over her like a warm tide. "It really is, isn't it?" she replied, her voice soft. "Just like your song, it felt special tonight." "Thanks, Mom." He stepped back slightly to meet her gaze, his expression earnest. "I really meant what I said on stage. It felt like I was sharing my heart, and I wanted you to feel it the most." Tears pricked at the corners of Claudia's eyes again, but this time they were tinged with gratitude, a testament to the connection they shared. "You did, Noah. You really did. It's amazing to watch you grow into this incredible musician. I often wish your dad could see you." "I think he does," Noah replied, his voice steady and sure. "I feel like every time I play, he's there cheering me on, like tonight." Claudia nodded, her heart swelling with pride and love. "He would be so proud of you. You've got a gift, Noah." Noah smiled, but before he could respond, a familiar figure caught Claudia's eye across the dance floor. It was Marcus Devereaux, the host of the Gala and a figure of local prominence, moving through the crowd with the grace of someone used to being in the spotlight. Claudia had known him through Mark, who often spoke of Marcus's passion for arts education. His presence was magnetic, but it also stirred a mix of emotions within her. "Mom," Noah's voice cut through her thoughts, pulling her back to the present. "Are you okay?" "Yeah, I'm fine. Just thinking," she replied, her gaze drifting back to Marcus, who had just stepped onto the stage, microphone in hand. "Good evening, everyone," he boomed, his voice radiating warmth and authority. "I hope you've been enjoying the gala so far. I'm thrilled to be here tonight, celebrating the incredible talent in our community, especially the one and only Noah Hale." The crowd erupted in applause, and Claudia felt her cheeks flush with pride. "Oh, you're going to be famous at this rate," she teased Noah softly. "Mom, stop it," he muttered, trying to hide his embarrassment, but a smile broke through nonetheless. "Tonight, we recognize an important cause," Marcus continued. "The Eli's Foundation is dedicated to supporting the arts and ensuring that every child in our community has access to creative opportunities. We've seen firsthand how music can heal, inspire, and bring us together in ways that we've only begun to understand." The crowd quieted, their attention captured by his earnestness. Claudia felt a sense of warmth emanate from his words, a reminder of their shared mission to uplift the arts. But then he turned back to look at Noah. And to highlight this importance, I'd like to invite a few of our esteemed guests to share some of their own talents. With that, the lights dimmed, and a few familiar faces from the community stepped up to perform. A local choir sang a heartwarming rendition of a classic ballad, their harmonies melding beautifully, causing Claudia to close her eyes again and let the music wash over her. "Mom," Noah whispered softly, leaning closer, "do you think we should try to perform together next time?" "Oh, I'd love that," she exclaimed, her heart racing at the thought of sharing the stage with him. "We could write a song together. That would be incredible." "Yeah," he said, his eyes sparkling with excitement. "We could make it a duet." As they shared ideas, Claudia felt a newfound sense of purpose ignite within her. The notion of creating music together, of honoring Mark through their art, filled her with hope. It was a way to keep his memory alive, while also moving forward. Finally, the choir finished, and the audience erupted into applause once more. Claudia turned her attention back to Noah, who was leaning against the bar, looking contemplative. "Hey, what are you thinking about?" she asked, nudging him gently. I don't know. It feels like everything is changing," he admitted, his voice barely above a whisper. "And I want to keep doing this. I want to make music and share it with everyone, but I'm scared." "Scared of what?" Claudia asked, genuinely curious. "Scared of failing, of not being good enough," he confessed, his voice trembling slightly. Claudia felt her heart ache at his vulnerability. "Noah, every artist feels that way at some point. What matters is that you create, that you express yourself. You don't have to worry about being perfect. Just be true to your voice." He nodded, absorbing her words. "I guess I just want to make you proud." "You already do," she said earnestly, her eyes locking onto his. "You make me proud every single day, just by being you." Noah held her gaze for a moment before a smile broke across his face. "Thanks, Mom. That means a lot." The moment was interrupted by Evelyn, who bounced over, her cheeks flushed with excitement. "You guys, they're about to announce the winners of the silent auction. We need to go." "Winners, what have you bid on?" Noah asked, his interest piqued. "Oh, just a few pieces of art," she replied, her eyes shining. "I'm thinking about redecorating my living room, to make it more me. Plus, supporting the arts is always a win." Claudia chuckled, feeling the warmth of camaraderie envelop them. "All right, lead the way. Let's see who has the winning ticket." They made their way toward the front of the crowd, and as the announcement began, Claudia felt a comforting sense of belonging settle in her heart. She watched Noah's enthusiasm as he leaned into the action, his excitement contagious as they listened to the winners being called. The energy in the room surged, laughter and cheers filling the air as people celebrated their wins. And though Claudia still felt a pang of sorrow for the moments lost, she found solace in the joy that surrounded her. Finally, when the last winning ticket was drawn, the atmosphere shifted again. "And with that," Marcus announced, "I'd like to thank you all for your generosity and support tonight. Together, we are making a difference in our community. And now let's dance." With those words, the music rose again, inviting everyone back onto the dance floor. Claudia's heart swelled with gratitude. Gratitude for the evening, for Noah, for the community, and for the strength she found in the love that still resonated in her heart. As she took Noah's hand once more, the world around them faded into a blur of movement and laughter. They danced, they laughed, and they celebrated life, the bittersweet and the beautiful, interwoven into a tapestry of shared love. Claudia knew that while the night had begun with heartache, it had evolved into something. Part 4, the heart of resilience. As the night wore on, the ballroom of the Devereaux estate transformed into a radiant sanctuary of laughter and connection. Claudia felt as if she were floating, surrounded by the warmth of friendship and the harmonious sounds of music blending into her heart. She twirled again with Noah, feeling the rhythm of life pulse through them both, easing the remnants of sorrow that had lingered like shadows in the corners of her mind. "Okay, let's try a spin," Noah said, his voice bubbling with enthusiasm. He grasped her hands, lifting them above their heads, and spun her with a joyful flourish. Claudia laughed, her heart lightening as she twirled, the world around her a hazy swirl of colors and lights. "Not too fast now," she teased, trying to regain her footing as Noah brought her back into a gentle embrace. Their eyes met, and in that brief moment, Claudia saw the boy he once was and the man he was becoming, a blend of strength, creativity, and an enduring spirit. "You're getting better at this," she remarked, a proud smile illuminating her face. "Only because I have the best dance partner," he replied, nudging her shoulder playfully. As they danced, Claudia felt the joy radiating off him, a stark contrast to the shy boy she had known just a few years ago. This was the boy who had once hidden behind her skirts, afraid to speak up or show anyone his talents. Suddenly, the tempo shifted to a slower, more melodic tune. Around them, couples drew closer together, swaying gently under the shimmering lights. Noah held her hands firmly, his expression shifting to one of earnestness. "Mom," he began, his voice steady yet soft, "can I ask you something?" "Of course, sweetheart. What's on your mind?" she encouraged, sensing the seriousness in his tone. "After tonight, do you think we could work on a song together? Like really make it a thing?" His eyes sparkled with hope, the kind that ignites when one dares to dream. Claudia's heart swelled at the idea. "Absolutely. I'd love nothing more than to create music with you. It would be a way to keep Dad's spirit alive and share our story." He nodded, a look of determination crossing his features. "I want to write something that tells people it's okay to feel hurt, but also to find joy again. It's what I felt when I performed tonight." "Exactly," Claudia exclaimed, her excitement mirroring his. "Music is about connection, and it can heal. It's the perfect way for us to express what we've been through and how much we've grown." "Right," Noah grinned, his confidence rekindled by her enthusiasm. "I've got some lyrics in my head already. Maybe we could sit down this week and, flesh them out." "That sounds perfect," Claudia replied, feeling the bond between them deepen as they shared this creative dream. The world around them faded again, and in the safety of each other's presence, they envisioned a future filled with notes and melodies that intertwined their shared grief and love. Just then, Evelyn appeared beside them, her hair bouncing with every step. "What are you two plotting?" she teased, her eyes sparkling with mischief. "Noah wants to write a song with me," Claudia said, beaming with pride. "Really? That's amazing. I can't wait to hear it," Evelyn exclaimed, clapping her hands together. "I've always thought you both had such talent. You'll have to perform it at the next gala." "Now hold on," Noah laughed, shaking his head. "We're not ready for the spotlight yet." "Why not? So many people would love to hear your story," Evelyn countered, her enthusiasm infectious. "And besides, you two are like the dynamic duo. Imagine the applause, just like tonight." Claudia felt her heart leap at the thought. "It could be a way for us to connect with others who are going through similar things," she mused, her mind racing ahead. "To remind them they're not alone." Noah's face lit up with excitement. "That's it. We could help others find their voice too." Evelyn beamed at their enthusiasm. "Exactly. We can spread hope through music. I'm going to start planning the next gala now." She grinned, and Claudia felt a sense of warmth enveloping them, a feeling that transcended mere friendship. It was a sisterhood forged through shared experiences and life's ups and downs. As the night progressed, they danced and laughed, Claudia's spirit soaring higher with each moment. The music swirled around them, and she could feel the healing power of connection wrapping its arms around her heart. She watched as Noah engaged with friends, laughing freely, a stark contrast to the young man who once hesitated to step out of the shadows. "Isn't he incredible?" Claudia murmured to Evelyn as they watched Noah share a joke with a group of his peers. "Absolutely. You've done such a great job, Claudia. He's blossomed into something wonderful," Evelyn replied, her smile filled with affection for both mother and son. "And you too. It's like you've both found a new lease on life tonight." Claudia nodded, absorbing the truth in Evelyn's words. "It feels good to be here, to be present. For so long I was just existing. I missed moments, thinking too much about what I lost. But not anymore," Evelyn said, raising her glass in a toast. "Here's to new beginnings." "To new beginnings," Claudia echoed, clinking her glass against Evelyn's. As they took a sip, the air around them grew electric. The music shifted again, and the melody wove its way through the crowd, inviting them back to the dance floor. Claudia felt an urge to move, to immerse herself in the rhythm of the night. "Shall we?" she asked, taking Evelyn's hand and leading her towards the dance floor. They twirled and swayed, the joy in their laughter filling the air. Claudia forgot the weight of sorrow for a moment, allowing the music to carry her away. She savored the feeling of freedom, of letting go of the past, just for a little while. "Claudia," a voice called from the side, breaking through her reverie. It was Marcus, the gala's host, making his way toward her. "You've got quite the talented son. I was moved by his performance." "Thank you, Marcus," she replied, her smile widening. "He's worked hard and I'm so proud of him. I could see it in his performance. It's not easy to pour your heart out like that. You must have done something right raising him," he said, his eyes twinkling. Claudia felt a blush rise to her cheeks. "We've had our struggles, but he's found his voice. It's a work in progress, but moments like tonight remind me of how far we've come." "Indeed, music brings healing," Marcus said, looking thoughtful. "It's the heart of our community. We should have more events like this, places where people feel safe to express themselves." "I agree," Claudia replied. "There's something magical about gathering together, sharing stories through music and art." "Speaking of which," Marcus said, leaning closer, "we're planning a community arts festival next spring. I'd love for Noah to perform again." Claudia's heart raced at the prospect. "That would be amazing. I know he'd love the opportunity. Let's talk more about it later. I want to see him grow." Marcus smiled, his enthusiasm contagious, and I think he could inspire others to find their own voices. As he walked away, Claudia felt a renewed sense of purpose. It was clear that Noah's journey was just beginning, and she wanted to be part of his story. She turned back to see him laughing with a group of friends, his joy radiating across the room. "Look at him," she said to Evelyn, her heart swelling. "He's truly finding his place in the world." "Just like you," Evelyn said, her eyes sparkling with sincerity. "Tonight, you both are shining." The evening crested, the music playing a soothing lull as the night wound down. Claudia, feeling a sense of fulfillment, took a moment to breathe it all in. The laughter, the music, the connections. It was a reminder of what it meant to live, to celebrate even in the face of loss. Noah approached, his cheeks flushed with exhilaration. "Mom, did you see that? I just got invited to join a band for the summer." Claudia's heart skipped. "Noah, that's fantastic. I'm so proud of you. This is just the beginning." "Thanks, I'm nervous but excited. Can you help me practice? I want to be ready," he said, determination shining in his eyes. "Absolutely, we'll make sure you're the best you can be. But remember, it's about having fun too," she reminded him, wanting him to savor this newfound passion. As they shared this moment, Claudia realized how deeply connected they had become, not just as mother and son, but as partners navigating through life's ups and downs. In their shared music, they had found a bridge to heal, to remember Mark, and to step forward into a future shimmering with possibility. The gala came too,